So I often wonder how different my life would have been, or even if the decisions I made in life would have been better if my dad was like around the entire time.
Come on.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here, and welcome back to episode number 3 of Arleisha After Dark. Baby, this episode is very, very, very touchy for me because I'm a woman that has grown up with these issues. So this is a reason why I really wanted to come on here and talk about this today, because so many women, hell, even men are growing up with these same issues and it's not addressed enough to me. So I get asked all the time about makeup and stuff like that when I really do it, because y'all know I really just like coming on here, my natural self, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. New content is coming and all that good stuff. So I'm like, okay, let's start today. So we're gonna talk about the topic as well as you guys watching me do my makeup as well. So yeah, but yeah, the topic that I really wanted to touch on today is daddy issues. So a lot of times I've seen men like kind of belittle women because of this, and it's not even just men that I've seen women as well, like she got daddy issues or whatever, and that really is a true statement. It's really some real shit, and I myself have dealt with that because growing up, my parents were married when I was born. My parents were married, but my mom went through some things that I won't discuss here. My mom went through a lot in that marriage. And I'm sure my mom was probably a lot to deal with in that marriage as well, which doesn't negate whatever she went through. It doesn't make it okay. But I think my mom divorced, and well, she left my dad first. She tells me these stories all the time. I think I was probably like 3 or 4 when all this happened. So I was very young when my parents divorced. So I was always like, I wonder how different my life would be if, not necessarily if my mom stayed, but if my dad was actually around like a dad should be. So, I mean, and I've discussed these things with him as well. We've had this whole conversation, which at the time, me trying to explain to him how I was feeling about things that have happened over the course of my life, he chose to take it as disrespect as opposed to actually listen to hearing my heart and hearing how he made me feel and what I felt with everything going on. But we're going to get to that. But anyway, like I said, my parents divorced. I think I was like between 3 and 5 when they divorced. I grew up in Temperanceville, Virginia, Eastern Shore, Virginia. I have a very close-knit family. My father's side of the family is very close-knit. I remember growing up with cousins and always at my grandmother's and stuff like that. I have an absolutely beautiful family. Hey, y'all, because there's a whole hell of a lot of us. But anyway, yeah, I've seen the wedding pictures and everything, and my mom holding me when my parents got married and everything like that. So, from what my mom tells me and from the slight things that I can remember, it wasn't all bad. But, yeah, my parents were married, and I'm like, that in itself made me happy, because, you know, a lot of times that really doesn't happen. But yeah, my parents were married or whatever, and, it just went bad. I know my dad was a little cheater and stuff like that. I know he did things that he shouldn't, and I don't hold that over his head because I don't know what was going through his mind back then. I was a child. I ain't know nothing about nothing. But my mom told me that she left him and she relocated to her own spot. I think she said they tried to make it work, but it just was a no-go. But to this day, I'm blessed to have my parents get along. But it's still awkward, and I would love to sit them down and get some answers about some things. Like, I really, really am pro family therapy, because it's, if some things is bothering you and you don't understand and you need them answers, baby, don't matter how old they are, they deserve some answers, because how you were raised and the things that you went through, it really fucks you up as an adult. And I always say, it's so many fucked up adults out here because they really didn't get the answers or the help that they needed as children. And that's why, even through my own divorce and my own situation, I'm understanding of how my kids may be feeling, because I went through that shit. So I know it hurts. One parent is there, one parent is not. You're feeling abandoned by this parent. This parent moves on, and they make you feel like it's all about the new thing you got going on as opposed to you. I'm like, I'm your child. I've been here. So I'm like, man, listen. But it's just crazy. So I'm sitting here like, no, after my mom left my dad, I really don't remember my dad coming around much. I do remember key times that he did come around, and I know there were altercations. So I'm like, okay, was it because my mom was spazzing out, or was it because you just were mad that she left? Like, what was it? Why were you not there? And again, I've asked them these questions, but we'll get there. But I don't really remember my dad being around a lot. I do remember my mom having to do the whole child support thing and all of that. Where some people will be like, oh, they just putting them on child support because they bitter, they mad. No, that wasn't the case. I remember growing up, my dad didn't even want to pay $36 a week for child support, and my mom had to fight to get that. So yeah, he paid the $36 a week or whatever. I remember a lot of times I was sitting, waiting. He would tell me that he was going to come and see me, or I could spend the weekend with him or whatever like that. And I'm all excited. I'm telling my friends in school, like, oh, it's Friday. My daddy coming to get me or whatever like that. Man, I couldn't wait to see that. I think it was a 280ZX. I forget what exactly kind of sports car it was. But my daddy had this blue sports car where he could take the top off. Like, the top of it was like windows. It was like a T-top. And he could take my side off and take his side off. And baby, we be in that bitch riding. I remember that. A lot of times my dad would come and pick me up, and a pickup from my dad, if he didn't take me with him, I really don't remember him ever really taking me with him to spend time with him. I remember he moved on with this lady named Angie. I do remember this. And when I was little, I had super long hair. Like, my hair was down there. My hair was super long. And this was around the time when TLC was really, really popping. So I would dress like real, and around this time, I'm like 6 or 7. And I would dress like boyish a little bit. I like to wear my hair straight, or my dad would love for my mom to put my hair in these pretty little ponytails, because my ponytails was super long. They came down past my chest. But I remember one day, my dad's girlfriend had straightened my hair. And baby, when I got home, my mama went off because, like, she put a relaxer in my hair without consulting my mom. And like I said, I've always had long hair. Even my locks now, like, people be like, no, you're lying. I've only been locked for 3 years and my hair is like that long. But my hair has always grown super long, super fast. And yeah, she put a relaxer in my hair and it completely ate my hair up. It broke my hair off, and my mother was livid. So that caused a big blow up. And I think at that time, I don't know, I won't say it's factual, but at that time, I don't think my mom wanted me to go back because of that, because she completely, like, my mom was about to nuck if you buck over that. So, and I also remember another time with this same woman, but I was an adult. We'll get to that. But I do remember this woman, Angie, that he had moved on with, and she just tried to do the most to be accepted. But I really don't remember my sister or my brother really fooling with her like that. But she was who my dad was with at the time, so I respected her or whatever. But after that, with her doing that to my hair, it was really just random women that my dad was a little player. So it was just like random women that he would be doing this thing with. I remember one instance, my dad had met my mom in Blockbuster Video's parking lot. And they exchanged me or whatever like that. I got in the car with my dad, and my dad took me to Popeyes. I thought it was just a me and him going in to get something to eat. Come to find out, it's a woman there waiting for us or whatever, or waiting for my dad. I don't know if she knew that he was getting his daughter, but my dad purposely didn't bring her because my mom, they were still married at this point. So I guess out of respect, he had the woman wait, and then, but at the same time, he was still feeding my mom this fried ice cream like they was going to be together, or something was going to shake. So lo and behold, my mama is Inspector Gadget. Baby, my mama followed us to Popeyes, and my mom seen through that good window that it was a woman in there. So my mama came in there, give me my child. My mom came in there and got me. I mean, the things that we see as petty and bitter baby mom nowadays, like it was running rampant back then too. Now, this was in like the early 90s. So, yeah, my mom came in there and my mom got me. So my mom got me or whatever. And my mom was on him because she was like, you just sitting here telling me that you want your wife back, you want your family back and all, but you in here with another woman and you got my child around her and stuff like that. And like I said, my mom had every right to feel how she was feeling because they were still married. And to me, what I believe in, I could care less if you separated. I could care less. Under the eyes of God and under the eyes of the law, you still married, you still mine, you still my husband. So that's just what that is. So, yeah, so my mom ended up following the car or whatever. The lady thought it was cute to flip my mom the bird. So my mom followed them. They got where they was going, and my mom, like, whooped her ass. And my mother, myself and my brother, my older brother, were in the car. So we witnessed all of this, and we're in the car crying and all of this, and my mom is tearing this lady ass up. I'm like, Lord, my dad actually bit my mom trying to get my mom off the other woman. So then my mom hauls off and slaps the pit. Like, baby, I don't know what it is with this memory of mine, but I don't forget nothing. Anything, even things from my childhood, I still remember. And that's why I try to understand. Kids are sponges. Even my kids now, they remember things. Lord, y'all got me talking. I ain't even doing no makeup. But anyway, yeah, I remember this stuff. But me and my brother were in the car and we're crying and upset and stuff like that. My mama broke the lady glasses and stuff. And I'm like, oh God, my mama. So the cops are called. The cops is coming. Like, we see my mama getting arrested and stuff. But the officer, my mom knew him. So once he saw that it was my mom, he didn't arrest her because, well, he didn't put her in handcuffs. I'll say that because she had us, and plus he had a little thing for my mom or whatever like that. So he told her, go ahead and get the kids straight. Follow me to the station. So she got arrested, but because we were with her or whatever, he was a little sweet on her. He didn't put her in the handcuffs. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, sir, whoever you are. But yeah, lo and behold, my mom, she goes down to the station, and my mom has to, I guess there's like a police report or something like that. The lady tried to press charges on my mom because my mom damaged her glasses and all that stuff. But she failed to tell these people. I still remember it. When my mom pulled up behind my dad's car, when my dad stopped, my mom was still in the car. My mom was coming at him, not her. She decided to get out of my dad's car and run up on my mom, and she slapped the fuck out of my mom. So, okay, you made the first move, so since all bets is off. I remember my mom's head going like this. And my mom busted out laughing. She got out the car and bop, 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 me. So that's all I remember. That's what I remember. My brother and I being at the police station, and we're having to wait for my mom, and the officers, we're crying because we're hungry, and the officer, well, all I can give you is some saltine crackers. Baby, I remember what the fuck. So yeah, my mom went through some things with my daddy, and my dad always was one to make my mom feel like light skin was the right skin. So he always like stepped out with the lighter women and stuff like that. And it made my mom very self-conscious. And yeah, he had this thing with hair. Like even me, I'm a grown ass woman now. Even like before I locked or whatever, I had cut all my hair. My hair has always been long. My hair was way past my bra strap in the back. And after I had my daughter, I cut all my hair off. And it was literally tapered and shaved. I cut it all off. He would always fuss at me because I would cut my hair. You got this long, pretty hair. You always want to cut your hair off. He has this complex with hair for some reason. But I'm pretty much just giving you guys, I like to tell a story, and I like for you guys to feel why I feel what I feel and where I'm coming from and where I've come from. Because I told y'all before, I'm that kind of influencer where I want y'all to be able to relate to me. And I want you to feel what I feel and know who it is that you supporting. I want y'all to know who it is that you're following. But anyway, back into the daddy issues. So shortly after that, I remember my mom having to constantly go to court because this man didn't want to pay child support. He didn't want to really help my mom with anything. So, prime this good face, and this is Nick's. Bear with me. Yeah, he really didn't want to help my mom with anything. Like I said, my mom had to fight for $36 a week. And I remember going all through school. I would talk to him here and there. He never really came around a lot. But I remember when I was like 5th, 6th grade, he would always tell me like, oh, I'm going to come see you this weekend, or I'm going to come get you this weekend. And I remember being so hype, and my mom would sit me on the step or whatever. She would let me sit outside and wait. And at a certain time, when I keep on looking, no call, no show, and I come in the house, and my mom always made it better because I was upset. So I remember a lot of that. So when they say like the father is supposed to be the daughter's first love, I honestly never experienced that at all, which I believe when I got older, because of that. And hell, even when I was younger, like I didn't even start thinking about guys like that until I was grown and out of high school. Like all through high school and all that type of stuff, I really wasn't caring about relationships or sex or anything like that. I really never did anything until I was grown, like 18, 19. So, but I still yearn for that attention from males though. I remember going through high school, and I mean, I was kind of popular. I was like the cool big girl. Everybody was cool with me. It wasn't nobody that I didn't like or nobody that really didn't like me or anything like that. I never went through anything like that, but I did crave attention. I did. And sometimes I would like stretch the truth and stuff just for that attention to be on me. I did that shit. And I remember what hurt me the most, and it's more than anything, because honestly, through elementary and middle school, I don't really have a remembrance of my dad at all. My dad really was not there for me during elementary and during middle school. He was not there. So that's why I'm like skipping from being, like between 3 and 5, 6, 7, when I do remember spending time with him coming to get me and all this type of stuff. I'm skipping from that to high school because, like I said, all through elementary, all through middle school, my dad wasn't there. So between my dad not being there and then seeing my mom in these dead-end ass relationships with people that abused her, tried to abuse us and things like that, I do remember an instance where I was in the 2nd grade. Now, this is something I do remember from elementary. I was in the 2nd grade, and this guy that my mom had got with or whatever, he thought it was cool to put his hands on my mom, and he put his hands on me. So I did call my dad and let my dad know, and my dad came and my dad took care of it. And I do remember that. So it's like, I'm gonna fuck somebody up for touching you or doing something to you, but at the same time, I'm still not gonna be here for you like I should be. So I was like, this is a whole ass contradiction. But now we fast forward to high school. That's the only memory I really have of my dad doing anything for me during elementary, was that incident. So then we move on to high school. So high school was cool. And again, I'm just my mom and my mom's relationships. And she had one good relationship. She was married. Well, she was not married. She was with this Puerto Rican guy for like four and a half years. So he pretty much was there through high school and everything. But he never got involved with my schoolwork or nothing like that. Even with me and my brothers, anybody my mom was with, it always felt like they tolerated us. They really never took the time to get to know us, what we like or anything like that. It always felt like they were around for my mom, and they just would talk to us or fool with us just to appease her because they there for her. So that's how it always felt. My mom really has never been with anyone that was like, okay, you my stepchild or whatever like that, or do anything for us. My mom was never with anyone like that. So, and that's why even me now, I refuse to date anyone my kids don't like. I refuse to date anyone that doesn't engage with my kids. I refuse to be with anyone who isn't nice to my kids. I want to see how you interact with them. Do you play with them? Do you sit down and talk to them or sow positivity into them or anything? Ask them what they want to be and really sit down and have these conversations with them. Because if you're with me, I'm going to need you not to just tolerate my kids. If this is something that we're going to be together. I need you to love them like you love me. Don't be around and fake in the funk like you rock with my kids just for me, because I'm a mom. I'm a mom's mom. I can pick up on that shit when it's fake. When it's not genuine, I can pick up on that, and I'm not going to have my children around that at all. No, it always just felt like she was with people that just tolerated us. So I don't want that for me. So yeah, the generational curse is stopping with me. But back to the story. But like I said, he wasn't around, and I always felt like we were tolerated. So my mom, she stayed out of town a lot. And my mom was the type, I guess we can have mommy issues too. Damn it, let's add that in the mix, mommy and daddy issues, because it's not talked about enough. So even growing up, like, I was a good child. My mom never had to like reprimand me for anything or what. I stayed to myself, or I was very trustworthy. Like I said, I wasn't hot in my butt or nothing like that. I was worried about my friends, food, school. I had a job when I was 16. I was working at Taco Bell. Baby, got paid every week. Kept my hair done, kept my nails done, fresh shoes, fresh clothes every week, stuff like that. My mind was on my money. I wasn't thinking about no guys. So, but my mom was gone a lot, out of town with her boyfriend and stuff like that. So I was home by myself a lot of times, or I was like out with my friends. But other than that, like, and my friends were the same way. We wouldn't think about no boys and stuff. Like, we kept our hair braided and was getting our nails done and stuff like that. And I'm friends with a lot of people that sing and everything. We somewhere singing something, taking walks to the park. Like, it was about 4 or 5 of us. And yeah, and they're still my friends to this day. I love you, Jackie, April, Rachel. I love y'all. But yeah, they still my friends to this day. And that's just what it was. But even seeing my mom in them dead-end relationships, and really, I honestly never really had a solid father figure in my life growing up. I did not at all. So yeah, I can't, I mean, I can't remember a solid male figure in my life growing up. I did not have that. Now fast forward to high school, like I said. So high school, I remember calling my dad. Now, this is the time that I was about to go to prom. So I remember calling my dad and letting him know about prom or whatever. And had left him tickets for Grand March or whatever. My dad never showed up. My mom and one of the guys that she was dating at the time were the ones that showed up for me for Grand March. And that was sting number, Lord knows, I don't know how many stings that was, but that was a major sting. But a super sting to me was when I graduated high school, June 3rd, 2004. My family was there. I made sure that I left my dad and his wife a ticket as well. My dad and his wife actually showed up. They did come to my graduation, but you know how after the cap and gown is given and the ceremony is done and the families all meet with the graduated, they're giving the flowers and the cards and all that type of stuff. I didn't have that from my dad because I later found out that after I walked across the stage, my dad and his wife left. So they didn't even stay to like greet me or I'm proud of you or anything. Like, to this day, I am 35 years old. I have never heard my father tell me he's proud of me. I've never, ever heard my father tell me he loves me. I've never heard my dad give me accolades or anything for anything. I've never, and I laugh about that, but that hurts. No, I've never heard my dad say anything about anything positive about anything that I have going on. If anything, what he has done is if I was in a relationship and he met them, like, oh my God, and boom. Y'all probably like, what the hell? Now, girl, I thought we was doing a tutorial. We were, but I was in the middle of recording earlier and got a phone call and I had to go out. So I had to hurry and do a little something. And yeah, hours later, I'm back to finish this video for you guys. So yeah, back into my story. But like I said, what I remember my dad doing was anytime I was in a relationship with somebody and he would come around, he had no problems telling me, oh, he's a bum. You ain't, he's not good enough, or like, you need to get somebody that treats you better than your dad. Like, how can you say that? Because better than you ain't too hard, because my dude, you ain't been here, so what? My dad is the type where he never really was there, but now that he's here, he wants to input on everything. And I'm like, dude, baby steps. Like, we got to get there. But like I said, I was married. My first son, I had my first child when I was 25. So like all through my pregnancy, my dad like really didn't come around like that or nothing. But when I gave birth to my child, we were about to get discharged. Now, mind you, I had an emergency C-section, so I was in the hospital for like 3 days. But he happened to show up on the last day. I was getting dressed and I was getting the baby dressed and everything. And he happened to walk in with a little gift bag. And it like hurt my feelings. He like threw the gift bag on the bed at me. And him and my baby's father, which later became my husband, they were engaged in conversation. This lip gloss is, I don't like when the stuff be like, yeah. But anyway, they were engaged in conversation. So I was in the bathroom getting my toiletries and stuff together. I heard them talking and all. You know, when you have to put the little baby car seat. Now, this is 2011. You have to put a little baby car seat and all that, make sure all of that's secure. So he walked us downstairs or whatever. So he immediately told me like he ain't like him and all this type of stuff, and he a bum. Like they almost like got into it, like bang bang one time. Like my dad went outside, popped the trunk on him and all that. They got into like, they were getting into an argument. They was about to go blow for blow at one time, I thought, at my mother's house. So like I ended up marrying my boy's father. And like, he just made it known he couldn't stand him. He did not like him. He didn't feel he was good enough. Like, he always had something to say and would always say, you need a man to treat you like your dad and all that. I'm like, do you really? I'm like, dude, do you really realize anything that you've done? So there came a day, I think I was pregnant with I was like 6 or 7 months pregnant with my second son. And at this time, myself and my baby's father, we lived with my mother at the time. And he had came over one day and we were talking and all. And it was just on my heart to like just pour out how he had made me feel over the years. And the way he's treated me has resulted in me looking for love in like the wrong places, or looking for like somebody who's like my dad. Like, I like bigger men, and I just, it's the whole stature is like my dad. Like, as weird as it sounds, I like bigger men and I like a manly man and stuff like that. It's certain characteristics that my dad has that I found myself looking for in a partner. Like, my dad wasn't there. So I'm like, I'm craving this love from you, Dad. So, okay, I'm not getting it what I need from you as far as your daughter, but I'm just going to look for it in a partner and hope that they love me like I wanted you to, if that makes any sense. But I've honestly, at 35, yes, I was married. Yes, I've had little situations here and there, but honestly, through being married, I was with the man for 12 years, married for 4. So I'm like, to be honest, I have honestly never been loved for real. Never. I've never experienced it, even though I yearn for it. I crave it still to this day, but I've just grown accustomed to just being okay with my own company. So, yeah. But, man, listen. I'm trying to tell you, it's just been, it's been a ride. It's been a ride. For real. I don't even think my dad really started coming back around in my life. There was, of course, me graduating from high school, and like we would call each other and stuff from time to time. Like, for real, I didn't even know my dad had got married again until I randomly went to my grandma's house and saw the wedding picture. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't even know my dad was married until I seen that picture at my grandma's house. And yeah. But anywho, my dad came back around for real in my life. Like, he's here, he's trying, he really is trying. I gotta give it to him. He's doing a lot better. Proud of him. Like, he's been really consistent and everything. Like, even now it's weird because I find him now getting mad at me if I go too long without calling, or if I'm not checking in, or if he calls me and I don't answer. Oh, I will get fussed out, honey. I'm like, what the world? And he'll try to guilt trip you sometimes, like, oh, I told my wife if something happened to me, don't even tell y'all. You don't even check on me. Like, he does that little guilt trip stuff. But in the back of my mind, I'll be like, Dave, that shit don't feel good, do it. But then I'm trying to grow, be mature and everything. I'm trying to heal from all of that. So then I'm like, all right, Dad, I'll do better. So like, even growing up, I never felt like one of the favorites on my dad's side of the family. But now that I'm grown and I understand things, because I mean, I'm not going to blame my dad, and I'm definitely not going to blame my mom. But I know from going through my own experiences now, as I'm divorced and have children and have to co-parent and stuff, I understand that it wasn't only him and it wasn't only her. Both of y'all need to take accountability for the shit y'all did. He ain't want to deal with you. You ain't want to deal with him. So it caused a strain in a relationship between parent and child. So both of them is to blame for that. And me realizing that for my own childhood that can make me better for having to co-parent and raise my children, because I don't ever want my children to feel the hurt that I felt because my dad wasn't there. Just like I don't want my boys to feel the hurt because their dad is not here, and their dad is only not here because we moved out of state. But communication, A1, when we go back to town, they see each other and they get that time in with their dad and all of that. So my children don't have that to worry about, because we healing over here from some things. Now, even in my own situation, my kids have heard a lot, they've seen a lot, but we're getting them the help they need now so they don't grow up and think that that type shit is okay. And it wasn't only him and it wasn't only me. It was the both of us. So being that I've been able to go through and grow through some shit, I can tell y'all that now. So it ain't always about bitter baby mom or bitter baby dad. No, both of y'all was toxic as fuck. Both of y'all need to own up and be accountable for the shit you did, change, and act accordingly for these kids. Because at the end of the day, neither one of y'all motherfuckers matter. It's about these children. So I get that now. So yeah, you got to go through and grow through some shit to really get here. And that's why I'm so glad that I started this whole Arleisha After Dark, because some of the stuff that I be saying might really help some of y'all, because I know a lot of people have dealt with this shit. There's a lot of women that have gone through their fathers not being in their lives, and a lot of men who deal with their fathers not being there. Even some people don't have their mothers, and you don't know how that shit really affects them, because it's hard for a man to teach a woman how to be a woman. It's hard for a woman to teach a man how to be a man. It can be done, not to say that it can't be, and not to say that these people are not raising some successful, beautiful ass children to be adults. Not to say that it can't happen, because it can, but it sucks to be hurting from it and nobody will listen, or you're not getting the help that you need. Because I really, truly, in my heart, I believe, had my dad been there all throughout my childhood and everything, I really believe that a lot of the decisions and the fucked up mistakes I've made, I probably would not have made them. I know my children were meant to be, but I feel like I would have been in a much healthier relationship before I had children. I feel like I probably would have went off to like a 4-year university and had that whole college experience. I just feel like my life would have been a whole lot different had my dad really been there, or if he and my mom were still together. I think that, no, well, it's not even a think. It's not even a thought. I know my life would have been a whole lot different. And, yeah, I don't say that to say that I regret how my life turned out, because I think I came out pretty fucking awesome, and my kids are dope as fuck. So I don't regret anything that I've been through, because what I went through got me to where I am, and I'm a whole grown ass woman now. To me, your age has nothing to do with I'm a grown ass woman. No. What's upstairs? You got some other shit going on besides nails, toes, and designer and all that type of dumb shit, racks, bags, and stuff. It's about more than that. It's a mentality. Like, you got to get some shit right. It's so easy to point fingers and tell other people where they're wrong, but it's hard to turn them motherfuckers around on you and check you. That shit is hard. So when you really, really desire to change, and you really get to a point like, yo, I need to see something different. I need to be something. I feel like I'm fucking up. Like, what's going on? Like, I can't keep a good relationship, or I can't do this or can't do that. Like, what's wrong with me? Fix me. So yeah, when I got to that realization, and then I saw how shit that I went through as a child, I saw the same things happening for my kids. Oh no generational curses will touch mine. They stop with me. Let me heal from all this turmoil and shit I've dealt with. Because even if I had addressed a lot of the things that hurt me as a child, I believe that my marriage could have even worked. I was a damaged person who had no business saying I do to nobody, because I didn't do to my damn self. So if you really want to be technical, I feel like even a lot of marriages will work if we really look deep within ourselves and stop jumping into these relationships just to say we have someone. Stop saying yes to the engagement just because we want to be married, because we think our biological clock is ticking and we're just ready to have babies and be married so we can go around and say my husband with every little thing. No, you better look deep within yourself and make sure that some shit is all the way right with you, because you're going to carry that baggage into that marriage. You're going to hold that man or that woman accountable for the shit that you didn't heal from, and it's going to fuck up your marriage. Like, make sure you all the way good. Make sure you're all the way good. If you get out of a relationship, all of that shit, the best way to get over a relationship is to get under somebody else. That is bullshit. That is trauma. That is going to fuck you up if you don't address it. Getting under another person is just going to put even more shit on top of the shit you already had. Stop it. No. So like, no, we're going to get out of this relationship. We're going to be done setting them boundaries so we are not hurt again. We're going to heal, look ourselves in the mirror and see where we fucked up as well as that other person. We're not going to blame ourselves. We're going to forgive ourselves for the fuck shit we did and for accepting the fuck shit. And we're going to go through, grow through, and move the fuck on. Enjoy our own goddamn company. Enjoy loving on ourselves, being the love that we want from somebody else, sitting down and loving ourselves the way we desire to be loved. And if love happens to come, cool. But if it don't, bitch, I'm over here sipping martinis, cool, under bungalow by my goddamn self, and I'm just chilling. The fuck? Whether it comes, cool. I'm enough whether you want me. I'm enough whether you don't. I'm enough either way, and I'm cool. But yeah, I just pray that everybody gets to that point. So yeah, daddy issues are real, and I had those until I went through some things and started to repeat the cycle of what I saw my mom go through. I'm like, no. I saw myself going down the same road my mom did. Even had children in the same order as her. A boy, a girl. The same exact way my mom did. I mean, my mom was in an abusive relationship. I've been in an abusive relationship. My mom married, divorced. I married, divorced. I'm like, hold on. This is not about to be no rerun. No. So after that divorce, I went through that process, and I'm like, I'm not about to sit here and just go get somebody else. I'm not going to sit here and, oh, I'm big, I'm dark skinned, I'm this, I got all of these kids, who's going to want me and all this, and I look like this, and I'm this. I that big. What? Somebody going to feel it, and they do. But I'm like, baby, don't let that be an excuse to just settle because you feel that something's not right with you, or you feel like you're rushing, or you just are ready. Baby, when the right time is here, you'll know. Don't rush anything. That time that you want somebody to be there, prepare yourself for that. How can everybody want to talk about this Boaz and all this. I don't want Boaz. That's her man. I want mine. Boaz is already somebody's man, so stop saying you want a Boaz, because Boaz belonged to somebody else already, and we don't want that. But I want mine. So, okay, while I'm waiting or whatever, I mean, you might want to have your little situation, sneaky links, whatever y'all call it, but if that's what you choose to do, go ahead, sis. I'm not going to judge you for it. But while I'm over here waiting for whatever I'm waiting for, let me prepare me. Let me prepare for him to find whatever it is he needs in me. Let me make sure all my shit is together. Let me make sure if something does come or something does pop off, that I'm not still holding on to something else that's going to fuck this good thing up over here, and that I'm going to be back over here stuck looking dumb at square one. No. I know I had a bad temper in my marriage. I know I didn't know how to talk to this man. I know I used to talk at him and not to him. Let me make sure that I got that shit right, because I refuse. If this is my good thing, I refuse to go into this talking to you like this, talking to you crazy and disrespecting you for me to lose what's mine. No, let me make sure I got all that shit up out of me. Let me make sure I healed and grew through all that. Let me make sure that's out my system completely. Let me make sure I'm good completely before I don't want to bring anything over here with you from over there that could hurt you, because I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, we not about to preach on here tonight though. But I'm just like, please feel free to comment below and tell me any of the things that you had to deal with, or if you deal with still, or have ever dealt with, like having mommy issues or the daddy issues, because that shit is real and it's not talked about enough. or if it is talked about, it's said to like belittle you or you got daddy issues or something like that. No, that shit is something that's not taken as hard as it should be. And yeah, it shouldn't be taken so lightly, but that shit is real and it fucks with you. And it really hinders a lot of the decisions you make. And it really fucks with you. It really does, because I know it did for me. But anyway, if y'all felt this episode, if y'all felt this topic, please feel free to comment below. Let me know if you have dealt with this, if you're dealing with this or whatever. Because I mean, let's help each other out. Let's help each other get through this. Like, shit, I should have been a damn therapist. I would have been a real one. But yeah, just let me know how you feeling. But as always, make sure you hit the bell to be notified, because we're trying to get content to you every day. I mean, every day. I mean, just hit the bell to be notified when I post new content. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you're commenting and sharing and all this good stuff. But yeah, as always, I love y'all.